And last of all, we have Yahoo Sports Read and React, brought to you by Yahoo Sports. Trending greatest of all time of greatest of all times. Who is the greatest athlete of all time? Wayne Gretzky or Michael Jordan? Vote now. Mark Cuban offers advice for Washington's Dan Snyder on navigating an in-house crisis. Oh, that would be Washington Redskins owner Dan Snyder on navigating an in-house crisis. Rare LeBron James card sells for an astounding amount. Braves' Freddie Freeman details scary battle with coronavirus. Jack Nicklaus reveals he contracted and recovered from COVID-19. The Lead, Stumbling Out of the Gate by Jay Busby. Good morning, friends. Guess what? Another sport, another possibility for labor strife. Sorry. Remember back in March and April when we all said the NFL was the beneficiary of the calendar and the coronavirus panic? Well, basketball and hockey saw their seasons smashed like a pumpkin hit by a locomotive. While baseball couldn't even find the runway, much less take off, the NFL sat back with the luxury of time on its hands. The league pulled off a well-received virtual draft and then turned its eyes to the fall, where it would ride back into the American consciousness on a wave of goodwill. Or so we thought. We're now just hours away from training camp's opening, and we still don't know such basic information as, how many preseason games will be played. Well, that's the fucking Players Association's fault, my dude, not the NFL's. Or how the NFL will even, if it was just up to the NFL, then it would be 2 preseason games. There's your answer. 2 preseason games. Oh, except the fucking Players Union is being difficult. Or how the NFL will even test its players for COVID-19. How about we just don't? Just don't say you did. This slapdash approach to a season start is, as you might imagine, well, you know what? This shit was supposed to be over by the end of summer. Okay? I know, people talk about how, they can't have any vaccine until 2021, so obviously it can't be over. But you know what? We would have herd immunity if this wasn't so poorly handled in the beginning, making everybody stay home. Fucking bullshit. This slapdash approach to a season start is, as you might imagine, of great concern to the NFL's players. And if it hadn't been fear-mongered so much, so that everybody was convinced that if they got it, they were just gonna die. Just like that. This is fucking... And even still, people think they just absolutely cannot get it because then they'll die. That's not true. It's a lie. You die if you might die. Not even all the old people die, but you might die if you're really old. Or if you have, other diseases. Like if you're cancerous, there's a good chance you'll die. You're gonna die anyway from the cancer most likely, but you might die a little bit earlier. But healthy people is what I'm saying. Healthy people, healthy young to middle-aged people don't have to fear going out. And that's all we've been being fed for months is just fear. Straight fear. This slapdash approach to a season start is, as you might imagine, of great concern to the NFL's players. Granted, they're members of one of the weakest unions in sports. Doesn't seem like it. But NFL players still have one important weapon on their side. They know just how much this country loves its football. Over the weekend, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, J.J. Watt, Richard Sherman, Patrick Mahomes, and others took issue with the NFL rejecting the advice of its own medical experts and shortening a proposed 21-day acclimation period in order to accommodate more preseason games. Using the hashtag #WeWantToPlay, stars from across the league took to social media to plead their case. What? Rejecting the advice of its own medical experts and shortening a proposed 21-day acclimation period in order to accommodate more preseason games. What do you mean more? They cut the preseason down to 2 games. And the Players Association still has not even said okay to that. Why are we blaming the NFL? This isn't a situation of NFL players being greedy or timid. There are legitimate health issues at play here, not just for the players, but for their families. Let me ask you this. Has there been any currently active athlete that has died from this? Because I haven't heard of any. I've heard of them getting it and then recovering. Okay? Why is there so much fear? And lest anyone start with it's just the flu routine, check out how the virus leveled Freddie Freeman, one of baseball's premier athletes. Oh, but he's still fucking alive, isn't he? He's alive. And you know what? I don't know what team he plays for, but a lot of it might depend on the sort of care that you receive. Sometimes it is completely asymptomatic, completely. Sometimes it is just like the flu. Sometimes it's like a cold. Sometimes it's like a bad flu. Sure, it probably won't affect many people, especially young and healthy athletes, that way. Exactly. But it can, and if it does, well, they still won't die. Just like this guy didn't die. But did you die? No, the answer is no. The NFL and its owners have created a magnificent product, and they're not foolish people. But what's worked for other crises, simply hammering forward with the overwhelming force that comes from being an American institution, won't work here. No, the only difference is that this time, panic was stoked. Fear was mongered, if that's a word. The fearmongers stoked the panic. You know, those in the media, those on social media. This has been a completely unprecedented global event. And history is not going to remember this nicely. All these fuckers, I pray to God, will be remembered as overreacting and fear-mongering. The coronavirus has stacked the line. Oh, no. It's not the coronavirus. It's the fucking reaction to it. It's the fucking overreaction. The overreaction to the coronavirus has stacked the line. Like it or not, the owners are going to need to script a more sophisticated game plan, and they're going to have to do it fast. You want the NFL back? I want the NFL back. The players and owners want the NFL back. But until everyone gets on the same page, the NFL ain't coming back. Fuck you, dude. Yes, they are. I'm so tired of this shit. So tired of this shit. Game plan. Haynes, here's what life is like inside the NBA's Disney bubble. You know what? I really don't care. Brown, the tale of a pitcher's 7-year journey back to the majors. Goodwill, could NBA bubble lead to a return of super teams? The kicker, low 5. Oh, brother. Get ready for the newest baseball tradition, the walk-off low 5. Hey, there's no rule that the 5 have to be fingers, not toes. This, I'm just so sick of this shit. Why do I always have to end with some stupidity from Yahoo Sports? That's all for today. Thank you and good night.